Hello fellas, Cinephiles, Film Guru here. For those new to the channel, my name's Sean, also known as Film Guru, and I started this channel having my same particular movies and a variety of other film content, so thanks for joining me today. Today I'm reviewing the Michael J. Fox documentary Still, and was directed by Davis Gohan, and obviously stars Michael J. Fox and his family. And the film really looks at Michael J. Fox's life. It looks at his early beginnings, and he talks about in the beginning how he always wanted to move. He's always constantly moving, but it wasn't until he got sick that he learned to be still, which is kind of interesting because his body can't be still, but I guess his mind can be. And it looks at his trials and tribulations of becoming an actor, how difficult he found it, and how long it took him to get the stardom he really wanted. He worked really hard, Family Ties, which I've seen, bits and pieces of, which I don't mind, Back to the Future and a variety of other films that he did, as well as Spin City, which was one of his last sort of leading roles. And he just talks about his life, and I kind of love that. And he talks about when he first realized there was something wrong, and then when he's diagnosed with Parkinson's, and the effect that that has on him. He starts to drink, he starts to mask everything. He doesn't tell anyone except for his wife, Tracy. And he sort of holds it inside. He doesn't want to express anything to people because he doesn't want them to look at him differently. And just how his real rock in this situation was his wife, and then ultimately his kids. His family was the most important thing to him, and that got him through a lot of it, I think. But when he finally reveals that he has it to the public, that's when I think he was able to completely accept what's happened to him. He's such a fascinating guy. This is a very raw documentary that really gets to the heart of things. He's very candid about things. He speaks openly about all the things he's gone through. And it just feels like it's a real interesting look at this man. The director asks him why now? And he doesn't answer, but it kind of feels like maybe he won't be able to do it in a few years, and this is the time he will be able to do it. You see that he has sort of a trainer that helps him walk and move, and you can see that there's his constant wanting to move fast. He walks fast like he used to, but his legs don't work like they used to, and he falls over a lot. But it's about persevering through it, and I think that's exactly what this documentary is really about. It's about persevering through difficult times no matter what happens to you, and doing it with a positive outlook. And that's kind of Michael J. Fox, I think, in a lot of ways. And he did a lot for the Parkinson's sort of foundation that he started, and the Parkinson's disease, like, he raised a lot of money for that and for research and trying to help, and I love that. He didn't let Parkinson's define him, but Parkinson's was part of him, and he was able to embrace that and use it in a positive way, to be outspoken about, and to do what he had to do to try and help others who were in a similar situation. For a long time I've been a fan of Michael J. Fox. I used to watch his films when I was a kid, and I saw a lot of reruns of Family Ties. Obviously Back to the Future is a big one for me, growing up in the 80s. And that film was really massive and important to me, and its sequels. And that's how I always saw Michael J. Fox. Did a lot of other films that I really enjoyed. Doc Hollywood, Mars Attacks, The Concierge, and The Hard Way with James Woods, where he's playing an actor who's researching a role with a real cop but gets swept up in things. He's really great in it. He does a really great job in a lot of the films he's in. And obviously Casualties of War, Brian De Palma, that was his real first dramatic role, and he gives such a powerful performance in that, and it feels like he finally had an opportunity to show that side of him that he kind of did but didn't have the opportunity to do with the other films he's been in. Like, his films not doing real well, that reflected him, how he wasn't doing real well, and they sort of capture that and show it. I like there's a lot of recreations of things where you see him going from the Family Ties set and going then to the Back to the Future set, and doing both of them at the same time, and the toll it took on him. And just how, like, when they show that his pinky moves by itself, and that's when it sort of begins about his diagnosis with Parkinson's. It shows him running, like he's running from it. And there's a lot of recreations of movies he's been in, and sequences take out of those films to show this constant moving. And I thought that was really great. It just felt like it showed that he was kind of trying to run from what was happening, and then there's a moment where he accepts it. There's moments where he talks to his children, especially his son. about how he gets angry at him to be careful, and just the relationship that he has in the bond is so important to him, and sort of shows who he is. As a family, they don't really make a big deal out of everything. They just accept him for who he is, and they treat him like everybody else. And I think that's very important. And I really love that aspect to his life and who he is as a person. And he's still the very funny guy with these great one-liners and has a great sense of humor. Just a fascinating man who had success in his career and then had success in raising money for a very good cause and a disease that really needs to be looked at more. This encapsulates him in such a great way. It's engaging, it's interesting, it's powerful, and it just shows him as a human being rather than a movie star. Final thoughts. In the end, it's about, like I said, persevering. It's about moving forward no matter what happens to you, and accepting things in a good way, and moving and shaping with whatever that is rather than trying to fight against it. I'm going to give still 4.5 out of 5. Thoroughly enjoy it, highly recommend it, especially if you're a Michael J. Fox fan. But just as a documentary, it's just really well done, and I was really impressed with it. Anyway, that's all from me today. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please hit subscribe down the bottom and follow me on Facebook and Letterboxd. Otherwise, until next time, enjoy the movies.